And we continue with the third chapter of Emma in Winter by Penelope Farmer. By Friday afternoon that week, she still had not asked him, and said goodbye again quite casually and set off home alone, not even walking as far as the school gate with Bobby, who trailed out behind her, a little disconsolate like a scolded dog, and turning to go his own way home. She did not see Emma bump into Marley Scragg just a short way along the road. Emma blushed quite red, as Bobby might have done. After all, she had been thinking about Marley that week. "Why aren't you in the shop, then?" she blurted out hurriedly, to hide her awkwardness. "Oh, I just had to run an errand for my mom." "That's all. Hi, Em. You look as though you just seen the thing from outer space. Do I look as bad as that, then?" And Marley screamed with laughter like a bird. "Course not," muttered Emma, shifting her bag of books to the other hand. "Course not. I didn't expect to see you out, that's all." "Well, hard luck. Here I am, large as life," said Marley with a grin all teeth. "How are you, anyway?" asked Emma politely, shifting her bag again. "I'm quite well, thank you, Miss Makepeace," mimicked Marley. Why aren't we polite this afternoon, just like our sister Charlotte? Grandpa been giving you etiquette lessons or something?" And she bobbed up and down on legs thin as hairpins, laughing again. No, of course not," said Emma indignantly. "I just wondered, that's all. After all, I don't see much of you these days, so it's natural to wonder how you are, isn't it?" "Quite natural, of course," said Marley. "And how are you then, Emma Makepeace, come to that?" "Oh, okay, fine," said Emma. "And how's that Bobby Thumpkins?" asked Marley, slyly looking sideways. "Oh, quite well, too." "Oh, how should I know?" said Emma confusedly, twisting her bag round and round in both her hands. "I did hear," said Marley, "that you and he were hobnobbing a lot these days. Very interested, I was and all." "We're not hobnobbing," burst out Emma indignantly. "He's head boy and I'm head girl, and Miss Halibut makes us do lists and things together. That's all it is. I can't help it if she makes us do it." "Keep your hat on. I never said you were courting, did I?" said Marley, grinning to cut her face across. "Why should I mind anyway? It's nothing to do with me. You can be friends with who you like." "I thought you thought he was soppy," said Emma. "I don't want to be friends with him, especially if that's what you mean. I just think he's a bore. But that doesn't stop you, does it?" said Marley, looking friendly as if puzzled. "But Molly Scobb said—" began Emma, and stopped. "Oh, yeah? Molly Scobb said what?" insisted Marley, turning sharp. "Molly Scobb said you'd think I was soppy, too, for being friends with him," muttered Emma reluctantly. "Oh, she said that, did she? That's very interesting." Now Marley was annoyed in her turn, all pins and spiky, suddenly, and sharper in the angles of her that were fairly sharp in any case. "The cheek of it! What's Molly Scobb know about it, I'd like to know? Who does she think she is? Well, you don't take any notice of her, Emma Makepeace. You just go ahead and be friends with the poor fat slob if you like. I should think he needs friends anyway. You might improve him, you never know. Rather him than Molly any day. I don't suppose you'd ever improve her." And she began laughing suddenly, as an alarm clock, but in between laughs muttering furiously, "Ha! That Molly Scobb! Ha! Just wait till I see her! Ha! That's all." And she was still muttering and laughing by turns as she went back to work, leaving Emma feeling a little foolish and a little ashamed, walking back up the hill to Aviary Hall. She was furious with Molly all over again, but cross with herself also for taking any notice of what Molly had said, and she was determined to ask Bobby to tea at the first possible opportunity, which would be Monday, the next day being Saturday and not a school day. As it happened, however, that Saturday morning she had to go to the village to do some shopping for Miss Gosling, who, with the snow for an excuse, grew lazier every day. It was a dim, gray day. There had been no fresh snow for nearly a week, though the frost continued solid and the snow looked bleak and old. Emma was not, in any case, inclined to be good-tempered, running dreary errands for Miss Gosling, and she swung Miss Gosling's bright string shopping bag somewhat violently around her, not looking at all at where she went. "Ow!" said a voice. just as Emma, horrified, felt the string bag snap against something and flick back toward herself. Luckily, it was no grown-up she'd hit, only Bobby Thumpkins, who was rubbing his face with an injured look, and she could see that his cheek was red there, though whether that was from the string bag or from the rubbing, it was hard to tell. "Why don't you look where you're going?" he said indignantly. "You're dangerous, honestly. You could have hit anyone with that." He spoke in a voice that Bobby Thumpkins would never have dared to use to Emma Makepeace a fortnight ago, and he seemed to have surprised himself by it quite as much as Emma, going scarlet immediately and stammering out hurriedly, "I'm not really hurt, Emma. Honestly, I'm not. It doesn't hurt a bit." But Emma, feeling guilty, looked as friendly as she knew how and was very apologetic. "Poor Bobby, I'm sorry. It does look a bit red. I'm really sorry, honestly. I expect it's just red because I'm rubbing it," said Bobby, rubbing again furiously. Then he stopped and looked and blushed and started to speak and stopped again and burst out, speaking very fast, the words tumbling out and over themselves. "Look, Emma, you rushed off so quickly yesterday that I couldn't ask you, but look, would you like to come to tea with me on Monday? It's my birthday, you see, and my mom said I could ask some friends in to help eat the cake, and there isn't really anyone I can ask except you." He stopped, realizing that did not sound quite right, and went so red that it quite covered up the red mark left on his cheek. "I mean, Emma, I would like to have you. I'd rather have just you and no one else. I don't mean..." Emma was so eager to say yes and so make up for her earlier unkindness that she scarcely even noticed anything more that he had said. "Oh, yes, I'd love to come," she cried. "I'd love to. Thank you very much for asking me," without really thinking whether she wanted to go or not. Afterwards, it occurred to her how strange it was that Bobby had asked her first to come to his house and not the other way around. It was quite bold of him, really, when she had been so distant and unfriendly these last few days, even though that still meant she was more friendly to him than anyone else in the village school. After all, she had even felt shy about asking him to come to Aviary Hall, and she was a much bolder person than he. But shy people can sometimes be more desperately bold than confident people ever need to be, and Emma, as she got to know Bobby, was learning that about him at least. And we'll pause there.